Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we're continuing on our self-portrait paintings. So last week we started by painting the colors of us, or our skin colors. Today we're going to be painting our hair color first. So I'm going to spread out a piece of newspaper because I know that my table can get messy. This piece of newspaper will help me so that I can paint on top of it and not worry about paint getting all over my table, because it will. It will also act as a messy mat so I can clean my brushes off and not worry about having to clean them perfectly in the paint bowl, although I always want to try. You're going to get 2 pieces of paper, one small and one large, from your bin. I'm going to write my name and class code on the back of both. It's super important that you write your name and class code on the back and not the front, because you will be painting all over top of them. Then we're going to have some options to use some texture tools. Texture is how something looks like it feels. So maybe if your hair obviously has texture to it, if it's curly, we're going to have different ways that you could show that. So today you're going to have the same colors that you had to mix your skin colors. You will have yellow, white, red, brown, and black today. If you need to make a dark hair color, you'll know that you're using probably the browns, the blacks, maybe some red. If you're making a light hair color, you might be using some white to make it lighter for whatever your hair color is. So mine is a dirty blonde hair color. So that means that I'm going to be starting out with brown and then mix in some yellow to it. I know that yellow and white are used to make colors lighter, and brown and black and red are used to make colors darker. So if I'm trying to mix my hair color, I'm swiping my brush, never smashing it down, swiping it left to right in big sweeps across the paper, dancing across that page like a ballerina on its tippy toes, never ever going to that booty scootin' ballet. If I need to change my color, I quickly rinse off my brush, dab it on the sponge to swipe that paint off, and grab my new color. I'm grabbing big scoops of paint every time I get a new color. That way, it is able to mix easily on my paper. You'll notice that the paint dries very quickly, so it's important that we work fast so that it has time to mix together before it dries. I'm getting a lot closer to my hair color. Now today, I don't want you to paint your hair. Last week we were able to paint on the back of our hands a little bit. Today we are not painting our hair, but you can hold your hair up pretty close, not so close it gets paint on it, and see if it's your hair color. If you need to make it lighter like I did, I added some white to it. Now I can talk about adding texture. So I'm going to use a toothbrush to maybe add that stringy texture to show the strands of hair. Then maybe I'll try a different tool. Every time you use a tool, you'll be able to borrow it from the front counter. Make sure you return your tool when you're done in case somebody else wants to use it, because we don't have a whole ton of tools. So you're going to be borrowing different texture tools and sharing with your table. If you realize you don't like that texture, you can always paint over top of it and then try a different texture. Say I want to make it curly or wavy, I could do different texture tools there. They all have a different effect on the hair. Now, with the texture tools, we probably aren't going to have time to wash them. So what you could do is quickly wipe it off with a sponge so the next person could use it. It also dries really quickly, so it's not a big deal if we don't get to. Once you've made your hair color, you're going to pick it up with 2 hands and bring it to the drying rack very carefully. Of course, the drying rack closest to you. Don't be walking too far away. Then I'm going to take a half sheet of paper that I wrote my name on so that I can go ahead and start painting my shirt color. Now this is only if I have time. I can go ahead and grab a color out of that other paint bin. This is just in case you needed a different, unusual color to mix your hair, but now I can use it for my shirt. A lot of these paints are running out because it's leftover paint from another project that we don't want to waste. We always want to make good use of materials, and that's why we're using them for this project to paint different papers instead of using store-bought construction paper. This way you can get your unique color and texture. Now you don't have to be decided on the exact shirt color that your self-portrait will be wearing, because we will have a variety of other papers that you can use too, to make details on the shirt like buttons or collars or fun prints and designs, things like that. Today is all about using different texture tools to create different effects on your painting. It's really fun to try some of those rollers out, some of those printmakers, mix different colors together, and we will get messy. So it's important that today you're always working on your newspaper and cleaning up when you're all done. If you really want to, after you're done with your painting of your hair color and your shirt color and put it on the drying rack and clean your tools, you could even paint your newspaper. It'll be pretty cool next week when we're creating a collage, meaning cutting and gluing, to create our self-portrait, if you had some painted newspaper that you could include in there too. So if you have time today, because your newspaper already has paint on it, You could practice painting on the newspaper. You can also use that newspaper to wipe off your brush, kind of like a paper towel. So that will be there for you to paint, to use as a messy mess, and to clean your brush. Just make sure not to spill any water on it because that will get a big mess. All right, awesome artists, have a great time today. I cannot wait to see what awesome textures you create on your hair and your shirt. Not your real hair and not your real shirt, of course. Let's keep those clean by wearing an apron. All right, artists, have fun.